I literally felt like I was going to work for Chase, Bank of America, the credit union. Every day. That's what I felt like I was going to do. That's what I was going to work for, not for my family, not for our retirement.
Say that again.
Yeah. So when they say that the borrower is a slave to the lender, it literally felt like that every day.
So a recent study came out and revealed that nearly 48% of the people who look like me, Black people, minority people, will make on average about $38,000 a year. Now, the average person in America will make anywhere between like $45,000 to $55,000 a year. And to be honest, I don't like that. You and I both deserve more than that. We deserve the six figures if we're willing to put in the work. And I'm super excited because I have just recently partnered with an organization that can help you get there within 9 months. And that organization is called Bethel Tech. My friend Ryan here today is with me. Ryan, what are y'all doing over there at Bethel Tech that is changing people's lives in the next 9 months?
Yeah, we are the first online Christian coding boot camp in the world. We equip individuals with the most in-demand tech skills like software development, data science, UI, UX design. We just launched cybersecurity so that individuals can go into the marketplace and get high-paying, high-growth careers in the tech space.
Like how much?
Well, average starting pay for a developer is $65,000. It's not uncommon to be making six figures within a year, honestly. That's just where the demand is, and that's the rocket ship growth in the space.
So listen, we're about to get into today's show, but I want to make sure that you check out the link in the show description. Listen, Bethel Tech is changing your life in the next 9 months. If you can commit to 9 months, I promise you the next 9 years of your life has changed. Let's get to today's show.
What's happening? No capping. We with AO, about to get a plate. Oh, pull up to the table. Let's go.
Yo, what's going on, fam? It's your boy Anthony O'Neal. Welcome back to the table. You guys already know we are in the beautiful city of Atlanta. Man, we're just rocking out this month in this beautiful city. And I'm so grateful because, man, we have been able to have some great conversations. So make sure y'all go back and check some of the other episodes. But today, I'm real excited because we're gonna keep it real, we're gonna keep it relatable, we're gonna keep it relevant, especially around the subject of wealth building within the Black community. I got a dope Black couple here that is killing the game. But before we get to them, make sure you hit that subscribe button, okay? Make sure that you're rocking out with your family every single Monday. And you guys already know, man, we're about to go to 2 shows a week. And I don't wanna tell you what's coming because I got something dope coming to the table that's gonna really help us reach our goals, become our authentic selves, and really hit that wealth journey that we wanna go to. Now, wealth is gonna be a little different from me to you, okay? Wealth, to me, is not just about finances. It's also about the freedom, the options, the opportunities, your mindset. What are you doing in life and how do you wanna do it and who do you wanna do it with, you know? And so we're gonna be having those conversations. But today, we're really gonna be breaking this stuff down. And to set up today's show, you guys know me, I always bring my iPad if I'm at the actual table. I have my laptop up and I do some research to set up every single show. So to set up today's show, listen, in 2020, okay, in 2020, the total US consumer debt balance grew by $800 billion. This is according to Experian, a credit reporting agency, okay? That was an increase of 6% from the year of 2019, okay? Are you a part of this stat? Did you go out there and rack up some more debt? Did you use your credit card so you can go buy this and get some credit card reward points? Uh-oh. Yeah, I asked that question. The highest annual growth jump in over a decade. This is ridiculous. 2020, let's be real, was a hard year for a lot of people, but it proved that we need to get out of debt, stack up our emergency funds, get a plan for a money, AKA a vision for our money, so we can avoid going deeper into debt. Last year, I had an opportunity to meet several people who actually didn't lose a job. They actually started businesses and they paid off a lot of debt. And one of those couples, I'm excited because they're here today. Today, I am joined by the incredible couple. It's a power couple. Don't get it twisted. You're going to see him, but next to him is it's everything. It's his right hand, it's his arm and his leg. I mean, she said it, don't get it twisted. There would be no Rashad if there was no Nirvana. Did I say it right? I did. There would be no Rashad if there was no black queen named Nirvana, all right? They are from Texas, man. They are on their way to completely, check this out, get closer right here, me and you, completely becoming debt-free. They have no more consumer debt. They are about to pay off their mortgage. If my friend and mentor Dave Ramsey was here, they are about to become some weird people, some weird black people in the building. I'm gonna be real. I haven't paid off my mortgage. You know what I'm saying? I still have it. I'm about 5 years out. So, we on the same journey. You know, I'm about to become even weirder. And trust me, when I do pay off my mortgage, it's a wrap. I'm gonna come in here with no shirt on, like, yo, I just paid off. It's gonna be amazing. But y'all, today's show is gonna be good. Can y'all help me welcome to the table for the first time and definitely not the last time, the wealth building educators, because he's the educator, she's the educator. He wouldn't be the educator without the educator. Welcome to the table, man. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you having me.
Man. Yo, so let's get straight into it, man, because I don't like a whole bunch of fluff on my table. You know, all that good stuff is great stuff, but my people come here to learn, all right? And so let's dive into this on why you all went so aggressive paying off your debt. Number one, how much debt did y'all pay off? How long did it take y'all to pay it off? And then I want to know, what was the breaking point? What made y'all say, you know what, we need to attack this debt? And also, how many kids do y'all have?
Well, okay, we have 3 kids.
3 kids?
Yep. 15-year-old son, a 10-year-old daughter, and a 9-year-old son.
Oh, they close, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, y'all was working early on me. All right, so how much debt did y'all pay off?
Well, officially, when we did Financial Peace University, we started out with $85,000.
Okay.
We paid that off in about 2 years.
2 years.
Yes, sir.
85 grand in 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Now, how much money were y'all making around those 2 years?
I would say probably maybe 115.
115 as a family.
Yeah, as a family.
Okay. What were you doing at the time? Teaching?
I was an assistant principal.
Assistant principal. What were you doing?
And I was a teacher.
You was a teacher. I knew one of y'all was a teacher. Okay, cool, great. So making 115 as a couple, paid off $85,000 in 2 years. Whew, that means y'all was grinding for 2 years.
Grinding.
Not even really eating a lot for those 2 years.
Beans
If
and
y'all
rice.
were, beans and rice. You know, when I was with Dave, my thing was tomatoes, hot dogs, and rice. So that's what I grew up on. When we didn't have food, my mom would get some rice, put some tomatoes in there, cut up the hot dogs, and we'd just eat that.
Yep. That sounds like one of the meals I had growing up.
Hey man, listen, it's the truth in the black culture. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Absolutely.
We did that. What was the breaking point? What made y'all say, you know what? As a young black couple, we need to get out of debt?
The stress. You know, she would be able to go to sleep at night, but I would struggle with it. So as the head of the household, I took all the weight on my shoulders, and I figured I'm the one who got us in this hole. I need to dig us out. But she wouldn't necessarily feel the brunt of it. She would just hear me complaining about it.
Gotcha.
And I knew that the longer we sat there in debt, the less comfortable I would be.
Yeah.
And the less comfortable that we would be. I don't know, what do you think?
It wasn't as noticeable to me. I knew we had debt, but Rashad is more of a numbers guy.
Okay.
So it weighed on him more.
Did it?
You know?
Yeah,
So.
did it. Now, the weight as the man of the house, right? You will go to work and feel that weight. You will come home, see the kids, feel that weight. You will walk around feeling that weight. For the people who are watching us right now, break that down a little bit more. Like, how did that process for you emotionally, mentally, spiritually?
So let's suppose your kids come home with a fundraiser, or they have something where you pay an extra $5 and they get to be out of dress code for a week.
Yeah.
And you're making $115,000, $120,000, but you can't afford it because you have all these debt payments going out, right? So I literally felt like I was going to work for Chase, Bank of America, the credit union.
Yeah.
Every day. That's what I felt like I was going to do. That's what I was going to work for, not for my family, not for our retirement.
Say that again.
Yeah. So when they say that the borrower is a slave to the lender, it literally felt like that every day.
It's wow. You're waking up Monday, 6 a.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 a.m. to get the paycheck, not so you can get back to your wife, not so you can get back to your kids so they can enjoy life, but so you can go pay all these other, I don't want to say the names, so I want them, no, I'm gonna say Citibank, Bank of America, all these other people, but nothing for your family.
Nope.
Do you think your kids, like your 15-year-old, do you think your 15-year-old understands what y'all were going through? That y'all were making good money, but you didn't really have the money?
So we tried to shield them as much as possible. We had those conversations like, hey, we can't do this for this particular reason.
Yeah.
And we were pretty transparent with them, but for a 9 or 10-year-old, at the time, you don't necessarily think they really understand how this debt is impacting what we can do with them. And, they had, for the most part, they had their needs.
Yeah.
But the wants was what they weren't able to really get.
Right.
So where do y'all live right now?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. Okay. So check this out. All right. So 115 in Fort Worth, Texas, that's good money for a family, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because here's my tribe. Whenever I say, like, hey, you're making $115,000, but it depends on where you are. You could be broke. $115,000 in California is not a lot of money. Well, it depends on where you are in California. Yeah. But I think if you're making $100,000 anywhere, as long as you're on a budget, you may not live a luxury lifestyle like you could in Texas, like you could in North Carolina, like you could even in the Georgia area. But yeah, if you're in New York or if you're in California, if you're in the DMV area, that cost of living is going to be a little bit higher. But what I'm hearing you say is, for a season, you and your family was a typical family. We was getting a paycheck, living paycheck to paycheck, making $115,000.
Yeah, so at the time we were making $115,000, and we make more than that now, but
that's a little brag, a little flex.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? We paid off all of our debt and we made more money. Say what?
So we have gotten significant raises since then, but in addition, paying off that debt gives you a major raise.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because now that money you can, reallocate towards your family and towards retirement and paying off your house early and things like that.
During those 2 years, I'm curious, what was probably the hardest the hardest thing, the hardest struggle of going through this journey?
I'm gonna defer that to the queen.
I can't remember the hardest no, but the struggle is just like the kids need a new jacket, just the little things. And it's like you gotta find the money to pay for the little things.
Oh, man. And so let's suppose you're paying off the top, you're paying this debt off the top, and something comes up to where you need a jacket or something, or you need to contribute to a fundraiser, but you have already reallocated this money to debt, and you're not using credit cards. You got to wait. Like, how else are you going to pay for this? So that was definitely a struggle.
In the Black community, as a Black couple, I'm curious. One of the things I am always faced with is, well, these people say use their money to make us wealthy. Anthony, you say, no, pay their money back and use my money. I'm curious, why did you all not go that way? Why did you all choose, let's stop this game. Let's stop playing this path, and let's join this path of financial freedom?
Well, we did go that way. That's what got us into the trouble we were in.
Ooh, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say it.
That's the truth, though. I mean, borrowing other people's money, because it's just easy,
It is.
From the time you're in college, they give you this $500 limit. They give you a pizza, a T-shirt, and from that moment on, you're in debt. You're a slave to the lender. So,
man. So, all right, let's talk about this for people watching this right now. How did y'all do it? How did y'all do it as a couple? What was the strategic plan to get out of this debt trap that you all were in?
So one thing is, money is in the Black community, money is so taboo, man. Having those discussions, having that dialogue about money is taboo. And it's even taboo within your household a lot of time. Like you have, it's usually a nerd and a free spirit within a marriage. And sometimes the nerd doesn't necessarily want to talk to the free spirit, or the free spirit, which is my wife. She feels like anytime I'm questioning her, I'm challenging her, or I'm trying to have a stronghold on her or bully her.
Yeah.
So until we were able to get on the same page and comfortably have those conversations, we weren't going to go anywhere.
Gotcha.
So the first step was to have that dialogue, to just let her know, hey, this is where we stand, and these are the steps we need to take to get out of this hole.
So how did you feel about that first conversation? Was it hard?
So initially, I think when you have somebody who is more
The free spirit.
you know,
Spend that money.
you know, I like to call myself a
I mean, I
frugal
see
free
the nails, I see the hair, y'all. She ain't half stepping, y'all. And she definitely not. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's the approach. So if you're just like, for a person who is a little more, you know, reserved about it, you need to come with a better approach than just like.
She said, "Come at me correct."
Yeah.
Yes. So I think, you know, after a while, I could see the wear and tear. I could see the stress.
Yeah.
He came with a better approach, and we were able to meet in the middle.
Did he come with the right approach in the beginning?
I think it was more hardline. You know? More.
That's her way of saying no, but I'm gonna respect my husband on this show. Not really. So when you say hard line, like what did you say? It was like, yo, no, we're done.
I think it was more like, so, you know, when Dave talks about his name being a cuss word in, you know, households, I think that's what it is. So you watch a video of Dave Ramsey or whatever, and then you go immediately to your wife and regurgitate whatever he said.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
That's really rough.
And you know, he's out there.
Because Dave is my guy, but if my wife ever came to me, but Dave Ramsey said, Dave Ramsey ain't paying the bills in the house.
He's not.
You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, you know? Nah, because Dave ain't going to his house. Well, Anthony said, what?
Yep.
You know? So I got you. So it was more so of the approach.
So I think like, versus just, you know, Dave said or this person said, it's about this is what we could have if we did this. This is what we could do if we did it this way.
And for those of y'all watching, well, who is this Dave guy that everyone's talking about? Dave Ramsey is my friend and mentor. I used to be with him for like 6-7 years, still a very close friend of mine. He has taught me pretty much everything I know about money. Dave, we love you. You know, I love you, but my wife can't bring your name up in mine. Okay, so the approach had to be better.
Right.
So now that you know that, tell the men how should they approach their spouses about money, about changing their journey.
I think any man or any woman, right? So if it's the nerd needs to approach the free spirit kind of in a manner that they need to explain the why instead of the what. So if the receiving party does not understand the expected outcomes and why that's going to be beneficial in the future to the family, then they're going to just keep kind of blowing it off, you know? And that's what I've, like, she just didn't know. She didn't know, you know? So when I started having those initial conversations with her, it did come across a little more hardcore. But when we start having those conversations, I said, hey, we need to go through FPU. You know, and I told her why we need to go through it, because we're going to have more peace at the end of the day. So now she's like, okay, so she's thinking, okay, if the expected outcome is that we have more financial peace, it will be worth it more than going through this same thing over and over again and him fussing at me and me fussing at him. So
I love it. It's almost like, what's the why? Where are you going?
Absolutely.
What do you do? You know, I take Financial Peace University every year, you know, and I live and teach this. And it's because I want to constantly remind myself of the why I'm going the way I want to go. You know, my mom and dad didn't have a honeymoon. They didn't even have a wedding. We lived in a very small 400 square foot apartment, like loft, with me, my mom, and my dad, right? And when I think about my why, this is why some ladies don't like me, because I date on a budget. And I date on a budget not because I'm trying to be anal and cheat with my money. It's because I want to make sure that when I get to my wife, I have the financial freedom. I want to make sure that when I get to my kids, I have the means to provide. Because just like y'all saying, hey, we got to figure out how can we get them a jacket. I remember my parents telling me, hey, I know you have a hole in the bottom of your shoe. We can't buy any shoes. Here's some black duct tape. And I got to put duct tape on the bottom of my shoes so that way my socks won't come out and water won't get in there. And I remember walking around, water still getting in, and I'm having to squeeze out my socks, put them back on, take off my shoes in the middle of class, and I'm embarrassed. I'm doing it underneath my desk. I remember that stuff. And I don't want to do that. So I hear you. It's like, explain the why. when you explain that why, the other person won't feel attacked, won't feel like you're coming at me hard. It's like, okay, he's right. I want to go on vacations with my family. He's right. I want to buy this car one day. He's right. I want to be able to do what we want to do when we want to do it, but we can't do it if we don't change this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that is so, so, so important. And so this is what I'm going to do, you guys. Financial Peace University, which is inside of Ramsey Plus, is going to be inside of the show descriptions. And so if you're just like this couple, if you're like me and you want to change your life and get out of debt, the best course out there in the world is Financial Peace University. And the reason why I love it is because, Dave promotes financial peace, but I also want to add this, it promotes financial freedom. And I think especially for people who look like us, minorities, not only do we need peace, but before we have peace, we need freedom. Okay. And freedom gives us options. Freedom opens up opportunities for our families. It opens up opportunities for your kids. So when you do get that financial freedom, you're no longer in this beautiful bondage of debt. Now you have the peace. Now you have the joy. Now you have the opportunities to do what you want to do when you want to do it with your family. Now you can say, hey, kids, you going to grandmama's house and me and, your spouse, we're going to go make another kid like you. We'll be back. It just creates so much opportunity. So check out the show description. I'm telling you right now, it will be absolutely amazing. So now that you all are out of debt, and you all went through Financial Peace University, you all had the conversation, this is what we got to do. What are you doing now to make sure that you all do not go back into debt?
That's a great question. Right now, we are just, practicing, being resilient, and we continue to budget.
Yeah.
Because I think one thing that a lot of people do.
You said budgeting. My tribe don't like the word budgeting.
Hey, I don't know why people have a problem with budgeting.
Why? I don't know neither. Why do you think they have a problem with budgeting?
I think people want to still be able to do what they want to do without accountability. But if you think about this, right? So if I continue to take us down the dark path, and we weren't budgeting, and I didn't have my hand on everything, and then I led us to a bankruptcy or something like that.
Yeah.
Would she have more respect for me then, or would she have more respect for me if I was leading us responsibly financially? So that's how I kind of look at it.
Yeah.
So to this day, we still talk about money. We're a little looser on the budget now because we can afford to do that.
Yeah.
And, we eat out sometime. We just took the kids to a Brazilian steakhouse a few weeks ago. It cost quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
But we can do that now.
Brazilian steakhouse.
Hey, it's a
black couple with 3 kids.
There you go.
Family of 5. Oh, that was an easy $300-400 bill. Easy $300-400. I know it, bro. I know the math in my head. 2 people is going to be at least $175 to $250. Especially if you getting liquor. Oh,
we didn't get liquor.
You did or you didn't?
We did.
Oh, okay. These some saved people, I'm saved and I love the Lord too, but I do partake. Boys, but doesn't it feel good to know that you can take your family there? And when you get home, you're not paying for that. See, this is what this. I'm about to piss somebody off. It bothers me when people I'm about to pull out my credit card, get some reward points on this steak. What? What? Like, that would turn me off if someone did that.
Reward points
for a steak. I was gonna pay for it anyway, but because everyone says I paid off every month. But that's the case. If everyone was paying it off every month, we wouldn't have credit cards because they wouldn't be making any money.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. So I've always been in that camp, right? So when we went through FPU, we did all the cutting up credit cards and everything. And then I lost some money in an envelope one time. Oh. I was like, that's never happening again. So I went back to credit cards.
Okay.
But we were in the camp that paid it off every month.
Got you.
But I will agree that when you use the credit cards, you do overspend. Even if you can afford it, you overspend because now if we're in a restaurant or something and you see something, you might spend a little extra on it.
Yeah.
Or if I log into my email and I see Carnival has a sale going on and this money wasn't budgeted, I can go put a $200 down payment on my card and just pay it off in a few weeks. So Yeah, I do.
You're going to spend more.
Yeah, you're going to spend more.
I mean,
it's natural.
It's made to do that.
Absolutely.
I am not upset with their business philosophy. I think I get upset with people saying, well, I can just pay it off every single month. Here's the truth. Studies show it. Only 3% of the people who actually have a credit card actually can do that every single month.
That's incredible. I mean, 97%.
97% of the people who actually have a credit card carry a balance.
Yeah.
They carry a balance and they're paying interest. And interest going away, interest that you're paying to meet is a penalty and it's robbing from your wealth building opportunities. Now, listen, can 3% of people honestly do that? Yeah, I do. You know, I have a mentor who does it right now. And on the 12th of every single month, before the bill hits him on the 15th, he pays it off religiously, you know? And I'm like, okay, cool, great. That's cool. If I had a credit card, I can do that now. But I'm like, no, I don't need it. And I'm going to show the people you don't have to have one, you know? But people who do it, again, I don't have 25 years of expertise in the game like Dave, so I can't call him stupid. And I won't. That's not my motto. But I'm rocking with the no credit cards.
And I think there's also, you can look at, I guess it's a moral aspect, right? So there's some sophisticated people. My wife and I in the past have racked up thousands of dollars in rewards and sign-up bonuses. But they're giving you that money from somewhere. And they're probably paying you from those people who can't afford to, you know, who are paying $1,000 in interest. It's coming from somewhere. So, you know, we fought that moral dilemma as well in the past.
Coming from somewhere.
Yeah, it's coming
it ain't
from
free money.
It's not free money. It's not.
I mean, the banks are smart. You know, okay, we're going to give everyone free money. And then what we're going to do is not only loan them money, we're going to give them money on top of it. That's the business model. That does not make any sense. Yeah. And I think for me, it's, I don't want to eat off of your hard work.
I understand.
I don't want to go out here and go to Hawaii because you don't know how to pay your bills on time.
Yep.
I want to educate you. I want to be wise and just say, you know what? Hey, let's all win. Let's all go to Hawaii, but let's do it on our dime. Or let's go out here and build a business, put in hard work, and let them come pay for our services that eventually pays for us to go to Hawaii. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But I mean, man, this is so good. This is so good. This is so good. So, okay, y'all got any luxury cars?
No, not at all.
I mean, you said that quick. She was looking like, no, but I want one, but no, he won't let me. No. What's your dream car?
To be honest, I don't have one that runs.
Real?
I'm very practical. I'm a free spirit, but I'm a practical free spirit. You know?
What does that mean, a practical
to me,
free
like,
spirit?
Luxury name brands aren't impressive to me.
They're not?
They're not.
So you're a woman. You don't have a Louis Vuitton purse?
I don't.
You don't have a Gucci purse?
I don't.
And y'all got money.
Yeah.
But you don't have no name brand purses?
I have one.
What's the name?
To be honest, I can't even remember. But
Is that the one I got you from an outlet?
He got it from me from an
outlet? Was it like a Coach or something?
It was a Coach. Yeah.
It's a Coach purse?
Yeah.
Listen, man, my mom is watching this show right now. I could take my mom to the Coach outlet. I took my mom to the mall. I said, Mom, okay, I'm talking about, I've specifically parked in front of Louis, in front of Gucci. And I said, Mom, you can go and buy any purse. Any purse. My mom walked past the Gucci store, past the Louis Vuitton store, past Michael Kors. She looked into Michael Kors, went straight to Coach. You would have thought my mama was buying Chanel. My mom was so happy. I was like, oh my God, my son. Oh, thank you, son. Thank you. And my ex-fiance was with me at the time. And she was looking at me like, I was like, Mom, you sure you don't want to check out Louis Vuitton? What? Give them $2,000 for one purse? I come over here and get three? I'm gonna get me three of these. So you got her a Coach purse. But Coach growing up in our generation, like that wasn't true. Yeah. I never heard of Louis Vuitton when I was growing up.
Me neither.
Right.
I didn't. It was Coach, Dooney and Burks. Yeah. You know, I know about Dooney and Burks. I'll never buy another Dooney and Burks purse. I done bought several of them for girls. I don't even know who their last name today. Lord Jesus. You know, I didn't really start learning about Louis and Gucci until social media became more relevant. And I can say this respectfully, the reason being is because Louis and Gucci don't advertise to people who look like us.
That's true.
Yeah.
Coach and Dooney and Burt still.
Yeah. Well, so anytime you make that kind of decision on any purchase now, I guess it's a blessing and a curse to be so woke when it comes to finances. Because I know now, if we're going to spend $1,000 on something, the opportunity cost. That $1,000 might be $15,000 in 10 years when you talk about compound interest. So any financial decision we make now, sometimes in the back of my head, I'm like, how's this going to impact us 15 or 20 years from now?
Absolutely.
So, but to go back to what you said about the dream car thing, growing up, I was in situations where we had cars that broke down on the side of the road. We had a gallon water bottle that had water in it for when the radiator overheated. So that's what I was used to. So to me, a dream car was always a car that I knew would get me from A to B without having to call a tow truck or anything. And I drive a 16 Camry. She has a 16 Odyssey right now. And we know when we start the car up, we're going to get to our destination. So that's a dream car to me.
Yeah. I feel you now. So y'all still operate with that mindset.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love, man, because that mindset reminds me of The Millionaire Next Door.
Best book. One of the best books ever.
It's like, yo, it's not about what do we have to flash. It is about like, hey, do we have the opportunities in the bank to just do whatever we want to do? It's not that we don't have the money to go buy the car. It's that we just choose not to.
Yep.
And we choose to put our money in other places. Y'all have 3 kids. If I have 3 kids, some of the things that I spend money on today as a single person, I probably wouldn't. Because I would want to spend that on my kids. One of my friends is plays in the NFL, right? And he convicted me one day. Black man, makes way more money than me. And he makes more money off of the field than he does on the field, right? Because he's into like investing and crypto, into the tech, fintech stuff, and came up to the house, my house. It was, man, this is nice, man. This is nice. I said, man, cool, yeah, thanks, bro. I'm proud of myself. NFL players, it's a nice house, bro. I'm like, cool. He gets in my car, man. This is nice. Hey, yo, I was like, thanks, man. So he's like, hey, man, how about you come out to my city, me, you, and my other good friend, Pastor Steven, out of DMV. Let's play golf. I was like, okay, cool. How about you stay with me in my house? I'm like, bet. I'm like, yo, let's go. I'm gonna tell my boy, he gonna pull up in a Rolls Royce, you know what I'm saying? He gonna have at least 20,000 square feet. We get off the plane. My man pulls up in a 1990 Chevy Suburban. And I'm sitting here like, what the? We pull in a neighborhood. My house is bigger than his house. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Got a nice little pool in the backyard. And I'm like, okay. And we sitting down for dinner. And she was like, man, what y'all think, man? I said, yeah, Doc. Yeah. He was like, well, the key thing is that's paid for, the Suburban. The house, paid for it cash, no loan. And I was like, so where do you spend your money, bro? I mean, you in the NFL. You are famous. He was like, I spend it on experiences.
Absolutely.
I was like, what? Break that down for me. He was like, I'm a black father with a black wife with black kids. And I didn't have experiences growing up. So if we're gonna go on vacation, next month, I'll probably spend $100,000 on vacation. I was like, $100,000? Oh. He said, yeah, I want my kids to grow up with memories, with experiences that I didn't have growing up. It's not an experience to drive in a Maybach and a Rolls Royce as a 15-year-old kid. They don't know the difference between that. As long as they have a car that gets them to school, that gets them to soccer games, as long as they have a home that's big enough for them to enjoy and a nice little pool to jump in the backyard to with their friends, that's all they really need. And man, and I'm not ashamed of how I spend my money, but it definitely taught me something, that everyone values something different. And for me, financial freedom, going through Financial Peace University, paying off your debt, all of our reasons will be different.
Yes.
Y'all did it for your family. Me, I just want to do it for my future family and so I can enjoy my life today. But once you get that freedom, if you want to buy a luxury car, buy a luxury car. If you want to go out here and take your kids on the $50,000 vacation, go take your kids on the $50,000 vacation. Mm-hmm. If you want to pay off your mom's house or go buy your parents a car, a house, you do that because you worked hard so you can have freedom to make the choices that you want to make and have the impact that you want to have the impact on. And so just hearing you say that, man, it just convicted me, man.
It's all about experiences. I mean, we took our kids to Disney in 2016. I'd never been because I couldn't afford it.
Right.
And we took them on a cruise in 2019. We're going on another one, 2022.
For real?
Yep. So it's just, these are experiences.
How does that feel though, as parents? That y'all can do that and you don't have to sit there and worry about what happens when you come home. How to pay bills.
I mean, it's gotten to, we're traveling more often and we have these experiences. Our children picking the cities they want to go to. Like our youngest is like, can we go to Miami next? Like they got different places that they want to see. Yeah. So being able to do that for them is awesome.
And that's wealth. Like that's wealth. Wealth is not just I have the money, but the wealth is I have the opportunity to give my kids opportunities.
Right.
Ask my kids, where do y'all want to go? Hawaii. Okay, let's go.
You go.
Right.
I'm like you. I've never been to Disney World because we just couldn't afford it growing up.
Yep.
And so I told myself, I'm never going to go to Disney World until I take my kids there.
Yep. That's going to be an incredible experience for you.
I can't wait because I'm going to be like a little kid at Disney World,
Yep.
playing with them. I'm going to take them on a Disney cruise. Y'all pray for me. I'm probably need to hire like 2 nannies with my wife for that. Because, I hear you just don't stop on that cruise.
Nope.
But the fact is that I can do that and not worry about how we're going to pay the light bill when we get home.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How we're going to pay the mortgage when we get home. And for me, that means a lot.
And you're not doing it for the gram. You're not vacationing, doing these things on credit, but you can't really afford it. You actually can afford it. So my mom told me something really important years ago. She said, when you're older, before you die, all you have are memories. So that kind of transformed my thinking. Like, you can't take all this stuff to the grave. You have to build these lasting memories. When I'm 90 years old, when my kids are 70 years old, they will always remember the cruise they've been on, the Disney trip, no matter how long ago it was. And nobody's going to remember how much it cost us.
Yeah.
They'll just remember that we actually did it.
One of the things I pray about for myself is that I want to take my kids to Israel. When they are old enough to understand and comprehend the Word of God. Mm-hmm. I want to turn their Bible into a 3D, experience. Mm-hmm. I want to take, my kids to Dubai. I want to take them somewhere out of the country once a year, specifically my daughters. So this way, when some young buck like myself come around and be like, marry me, and I'm gonna take you all over the place, their response is gonna be, well, where are you taking me? Because my dad is taking me everywhere.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and the fact that I can do that, I get excited about that.
Yeah.
The fact that me and my wife can get away, and I told myself, it's a goal. I posted on Instagram a few weeks ago. I said, yo, dear future wife, we're gonna have, what did I say? Like 4 honeymoons.
I think I saw that one.
It's like we're gonna have I think it was like 10 honeymoons, something like that. But what it is like the first year is gonna be honeymoon season. Mm-hmm. We're not having any kids. Every quarter we're gonna go somewhere out of the country. Every month, 1 weekend, 3-day weekend, we're gonna go somewhere in the state and just get away.
Get away. Yep.
Because I think sometimes in that first year, we from what I understand from couples, is that first year, it can either be a good year or a bad year, the first year of marriage. And my thing is, I really want us to get away and really learn more of each other before we bring kids into that experience.
And we didn't do that.
For real.
We got married, then we found out we were pregnant 3 months later. So the first year really is focused on, getting ready for this baby. Then the second year literally is all focused on a baby.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we didn't do what you were talking about. And not to say we have any regrets, but if I were to give any advice to a young couple, I would tell them, hey, go ahead and get married, get to know each other, spend that time together.
Yeah.
Then work on having kids.
So good, so good.
Do you then want people to love you the way that all the hoe girls love you? Because they come
the
at you.
hoe girls. Ooh.
Welcome to the Singles Mansion, first edition, first season.
Whoa! because I think that's gonna stick with them.
That's crazy.
Just because you're talking loud, don't make
know, is it nothing or is it something? No!
Yo, we just now tuned into the show. Welcome back to the table. It's your boy Anthony O'Neill, man. We're in the beautiful city of Atlanta, and we took the table here to this beautiful city. It's a little table. It's not the table, but it's a little table. But we're having a great conversation. The content hasn't changed. We're keeping it real. We're keeping it relevant, and we are keeping it relatable. Two quick things before we get back to today's show. Number one, don't forget to park your emergency fund at Prize Pool. That's where I park my funds. Don't forget 3 to 6 months of your average expenses. All right, so this is your hair, ladies. This would be, your haircut, brothers, your mortgage payment, your insurance. I want you to set aside at least 3 to 6 months to make sure that you do not go back into debt. Or if you're getting out of debt and you have $1,000 in your emergency fund, okay, you're going to be parking that inside a Prize Pool. Now, why Prize Pool? Let me tell you real quick. Number one is because they are FDIC insured. Number two, they're going to give you 0.30% interest rate on return, and the average bank is like 0.005 or something like that. It's ridiculous. And then what I really love, let's say you got $1,000 in there, where every single week they give away cash prizes. Every single month they give away cash prizes, like right around $15,000 to $20,000. Why not have your money sitting in this account, getting the interest rate, and on top of that, you get, that's right, some grand prize opportunities from Prize Pool. It's an app, it's easy, it's simple. Check it out. They are in the show description. Number two, the average person in America is gonna make about $42,000 to about $55,000 a year. If you look like me, 48% of us make about $35,000 to $38,000 a year. And to be quite frank with you, I'm sick and tired of that. Okay, it is time for us to really start making more money. And one of the highest rising career fields is the tech field. I have partnered with Bethel Tech. It is completely affordable. I'm telling you right now, if you're looking to get into a career field to where you can go from making $35,000, $40,000 a year to six figures, $100,000 a year, you want to check out my friends over there at Bethel Tech. You're gonna get a $1,500 scholarship, and you guys know I don't do debt, so they're gonna break down their payment plans for you, and it is very affordable. Think about it. If you can commit to 9 months with this program, you can change the next 9 years of your life for just giving yourself 9 months inside of this program and start making six figures. And just like our couples are saying today, you heard them. They were making six figures, paid off $80,000 in about 2 years. And now they really balling and doing some things. That could be you. So check out Prize Pool in the show description below, and also check out my family over there at Bethel Tech, and tell Bethel Tech that Anthony sent you so you can get that $1,500 scholarship, and go tell one of your friends. But let's get back to today's show. So I got a question for y'all. Now that you all have 3 kids, you're out of debt, you all are building wealth, you all are teaching wealth building stuff on YouTube. How are you having that conversation with your kids?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, so we've been having these conversations with our kids for a while. So for instance, our oldest just got a job. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, he's 15 and he is working at an ice cream parlor. And
He's working at ice cream?
Yeah, it's called Brahms. It's ice cream burgers. Yeah. And he makes about $9.50 an hour.
Okay, man, balling over 15.
He balling at, because
I wasn't doing that at 15, bro. I was making $4.50 an hour at Taco Bell.
I was making $4 an hour at Publix. First job. Then I got an upgrade, $4.25 at Kroger.
$4.25. I was $4.50 at Taco Bell in California.
There you go. There you go. Well, he's balling. So we always tell him, you have to save or invest 50% of anything you make. So when he got his first 2 checks, I opened him a Roth IRA for a minor.
Come on now.
Half of it has gone into there. So, and then my daughter, one thing about her, which she's taking on my personality now, where she has a hard time spending money. She might get $200 and she wants to save $185 and invest it. And then she only keeps $15. So then later on, she'll come to me and say, Daddy, I need some money. Yeah. So we're trying to teach them balance, because we have one that just wants to invest too much. I mean, is there such thing as too much? But it could be, right? Like if they can't, freely spend it and have fun with it, Then you have, we had the oldest one who didn't want to save anything at first, but now he's doing it. Then we have the baby who's kind of in between. So we have had those conversations. What do you say?
I think our oldest, now that he's making his own money, and we have these conversations and we watch all these different financial shows and platforms, he knows that he can be a millionaire by 30. He knows that it's easy.
50% of his check already.
Yeah. So knowing that, it's easy for him to do those things.
He gonna have 6 figures just from the power of compound interest before he graduates high school, if he keep that up.
Right.
Depending on how much he works, how much he puts inside of it. But what?
I just, I think back when I was 15 years old and I was working. And I just can't imagine had I put $10 or $15 of every check into an index fund or a mutual fund, what it would look like now. So we don't want to make the same mistake with our kids.
Listen, man, how do you do that? How do you, like, that's the question that I ask young people. Listen, if you make $5,000 throughout this year, right? Listen, just put $2,000 in a Roth IRA. Mm-hmm. You do that just for 6 years, so that thing sit there for 30 years. You never, like, what in the world? You sitting on 7 figures when your friends gonna be sitting on negative money. There's a study that came out that said that by 2053, people who look like us, we're gonna be negative in our net worth. We're not gonna have, a whole bunch of money. We're gonna be so in debt that we are negative in our net worth.
See, and these are studies that are predicting these things, but why can't we collectively stop that in reverse course? Right?
But how do we do it? Like, what, in your opinion, what do we have to do as a people to stop that?
First of all, we have to have these conversations. That is a start. And just continuing to educate people. Like we talked about Rich and Regular, Julian and Kirsten, and they have the Money on the Table episodes and things like that. And they're having these, blunt conversations with people and they're trying to take off the edge of having those money discussions and not making it so taboo.
One of the things I agree with you on is, I agree with you on that part. And it's like, we have to understand to have this conversation, we may not all agree on particulars. Yeah. But we do agree on financial freedom. Mm-hmm. And that there's gonna be different routes. I had an opportunity to be on Earn Your Leisure and some other platforms, and not everyone agrees with my method, but I like the fact that we can all still have a conversation. Yeah. And I think that's important for the culture. What else do you think? Because I'm so curious about this, especially for us. How do we change that future, man?
Let me also say this. So we bought our house in 2015. Mm-hmm. And periodically, we start looking to upgrade our house. We start going to houses, taking our kids to houses, and always looking for better. But I had a friend who one day said, Google the hedonic treadmill, hedonic adaptation. So I looked it up, and basically it says no matter where you are, everybody has a baseline of happiness. Yeah. And if you have a loved one who dies, you'll fall for a little bit, you'll be depressed, but then you'll gradually work your way up to that baseline. If you go buy a new house, a new car, you will be high for a few weeks, then you'll work your way back down. So basically what that says is that no matter what you do, the highs or lows, it won't make you a happier person. And once I learned about that, now if we go look at a house or car, it's like, will the payoff be worth, how much we have to pay for it? And we always come back and say no. Like the extra mortgage payment, the increasing mortgage debt, will it make us any happier than we are now? Maybe for a couple of weeks, but ultimately it won't. Yeah. So if we kind of compare that to what we see on social media, where people always are trying to seek happiness and they're always trying to outdo their friends, outdo even themselves, and ultimately at the end of the day, they're no happier than they were.
Yeah, and I think you were telling me that you all were thinking about buying a house and you look at it, we're just gonna stay right here. So y'all's philosophy is let's go ahead and just pay it off. Mm-hmm. And then whenever we get, to retirement age, we'll look at it.
Yep.
All right. We've already gotten out of debt, and I don't want to put my whole paycheck again on a mortgage payment.
Yeah. See, I think you just made some people upset. Well, if you got the money, how come you can't enjoy it? And that's what they're saying.
I enjoy having freedom and options better.
Yeah. Thank you. And again, your freedom and options may look different from my freedom and options.
Right.
Yeah. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. But I think we as a people have to really look at, we are creative, we are smart, but we're drowning in debt.
Yeah.
They say that the average Black person would die leaving their kids with bills and with benefits. And the benefits are only enough to take care of the bills. Not to set them up for legacy, not to set them up on how to build wealth. It's hey, I'm gonna leave you enough benefits to bury me. I'm gonna leave you enough benefits to take care of some of the bills. And I'm sorry. And I don't want that for us.
Well, I agree 100%. So what would a 65-year-old Anthony think about the decisions that the 37-year-old Anthony made? That's how you have to look at things.
Absolutely.
And right now, the trajectory we have, we feel like we'll be proud of the decisions we made. But I'm not proud of the decisions 20-year-old Rashad made.
Me neither.
Yeah, no, so.
I'm not even proud of all the decisions that I've made at 37 or 37 now.
Absolutely. So we just always have to have those conversations within our household.
Absolutely.
But more importantly, with ourselves.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I know I've made multiple mistakes and I've pulled her into some of those and she's been forgiving. But at the same time, she holds herself accountable because I can say, hey, let's go get this car, and she signs off on it. She can't necessarily just say, oh, he bullied me into that. She also takes ownership as well because it's never been a dictatorship. It's been 50-50, but sometimes she might feel like a little pressure, But ultimately, if she says no, then we're not going to do it. So I don't know what you got to add to that.
50-50? So y'all believe in because I'm in that generation of they don't really like that term 50-50. If you bring that up to a 25-year-old, 50-50, no, it's going to be 100 him and I do what I want to do.
So I'm guessing you're speaking about like the financial part right now.
Absolutely.
I'll probably make almost 75%. 70% of the household income,
right?
But it's our money, so we just throw everything in one account, and then she gets her blow money, I get my blow money. I don't question her about her blow money; she doesn't question me about mine.
So let me get it straight, because I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Make sure it's like what I teach. It's you have the primary checking, all the money goes into that. Y'all budget it. Y'all have a savings account, then y'all have two different checking accounts. And if y'all agree, all right, you get 500, you get 1,000. Whatever, if I come back home with a Louis bag that costs me $700, it's okay. That was your blow money.
Yeah, because in the past, let's say we just have that one checking account and my birthday's coming up and she wants to do something for me. Well, if I see a $200 purchase from Macy's or whatever, I know like it's for me. So now it's like, hey, she gets her account, I get my account. Whatever we do within those accounts, we're not micromanaging each other.
And it avoids all that, what you just said. Whatever I want to buy for me, I buy for me. What he wants to buy for him.
So is your hair money, because your hair flawless right now, is your hair money coming out of the primary as in the budgeted account, or is it coming out of your spending account?
So like for me, because as a woman, women sometimes need other things.
Yeah.
I get a little more blow money than he does. So
it's really?
Yeah. So
I don't know about all that. That's gonna be 50-50.
So I'll be transparent. So I give myself, we give me $250 a month. We give her $500. If I have $500,
I need a little bit. You double the amount.
I mean, that's
a good husband right now.
But I mean, a $20 haircut versus
But that's once a month.
Depends on the style.
I'm gonna be real. Like, I can't imagine what I would do with $500 a month. I ain't trying to get in no trouble, so I give myself $250, give her $500, and we good.
$500 a month, yeah, bro. That's good.
So that's the why, right? So we for so long we were constricted, and we had those shackles.
Yeah.
So once I explained to her, okay, once we're debt free, we don't have to worry about paying all these other people. We will have more freedom and financial peace, and that's what she has now. She gets all of this extra money. She don't have to worry about it.
If she said, I'm getting $500, it costs me $250 to do my hair, I'm gonna stack this $250 for like 4 months. That's $1,000. She comes home with a Louis Vuitton purse for $1,000. Emotionally, are you saying, what did you just do? Or are you like, okay, cool.
I'm like, I don't care, because it didn't come out of the household budget.
The household budget.
Yeah.
And like, for example, what's all in a household budget?
Well, you have your give, you have your retirement, Roth IRA, 403B, the mortgage,
all that stuff is in there.
Kids, food, gas, all of that stuff is in there.
That's exactly what I teach. And that's what I would have. I will have checking account primary where all the money goes into. Then I will have a emergency fund where we never touch that account. Then I'll probably have another savings account for just if we were building for a house or we both said we want to go on a trip, boom. Then we'll have 2 checking accounts.
Yep.
And then as I have kids, they will have their own checking account that I would give to them to, I want to monitor my kids. I will be micromanaging my kids.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Because they don't know any better.
Right.
You know,
Because even with our son's money, you know, we make him save the 50%, and then he has his own checking account.
Yeah.
And he still asks, hey, Dad, can I buy this or can I buy that? And we tell him, hey, do what you want. Yeah. But we still let him know it's an opportunity cost. So if you buy this $80 pair of shoes.
Yeah. Don't come to me when you need $20 for, you know, a trip or something for school or lunch money. No, you better eat your shoes.
And he also needs to know those $80 pair of shoes, right? 30 years from now, it could be a $1,600 pair of shoes just because of the missed opportunity. So we don't want them to think about that with everything. Like every meal you have, that could have been compound interest, you know, but we do want them to understand.
Man, I love it, man. I love it. One last thing before we go. What is one piece of advice you'll give people right now, single people who are desiring marriage? What is one piece of advice you'll give them to set them up to win financially when they get inside of a marriage?
To be completely honest with you, man, the number one thing you need to do is get out of debt ASAP. Get out of debt and stay out of debt. That's it.
You have any disagreement?
Not at all. And don't be afraid of the word budget. It's not a bad thing.
Thank you.
It's not a bad thing.
Yo, so where can my people find you, man?
Wealth Building Educator on YouTube.
Okay.
Email is thewealthyeducator@gmail.com. If you have any questions, I'm always available. We're doing coaching sessions and things like that. So,
yo, it's The Table right here in Atlanta. See you next week. Peace. Hey,